The following podcast, scheduled for one fall, is for the greatest podcast you've never heard of. Introducing first, your champion, residing from New York City. He is the Maverick, Josh Zodiac. It's the Josh Zodiac podcast.
Get down on your knees and tell me you love me.
I am CM Punk, and I am the voice of the voiceless, and you will apologize, and you will like it.
I love you, Punk, but no, I apologize to no man for what I'm about to do. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the greatest podcast you've never heard of. That is, of course, the Josh Zodiac podcast, a podcast that has no agenda and no real script, as far as you know. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. This is the podcast that believes that Charlotte Flair and Nikki Bella need to stay as far away from WWE as they possibly can. You've done enough damage. And I will get more into that later in the news. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a special episode of the show because today is Royal Rumble Day. Yes, I get it. Yep. Enough of that. But yes, today is the Royal Rumble 2025. I'm super excited. I'll be going over some predictions and my review of the show later on. But first, I want to talk about a couple of news items that have been going on for the past couple of weeks that I really haven't talked about. I wanted to wait till the Rumble to do a WWE only news type of special. So with that being said, we'll move on to the first topic. And this one is kind of near and dear to me because those that do not know, I used to do commentary for a wrestling promotion back home that is now defunct. But I am now doing commentary for a new one, rising from the ashes of the old, known as Apex. Also, Apex, I forget what it stands for. But again, it's Apex. I'll get clarity on that. But I'm doing commentary for them. There has been a name change on my end. I am no longer known as the Josh Zodiac on commentary. I am now going to be known as the Maverick Josh Zodiac. And I understand Logan Paul tried pulling that, but fuck that dude. I'll get into him later as well. But the first topic I want to talk about is this punk-ass bitch, Corey Graves, crying because he's no longer on the main roster for commentary. And this is straight from his Twitter feed not too long ago. I quote, "Imagine chasing your dream, then being told, not deciding that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream. Then you rededicate your life to something dream adjacent and being pretty fucking awesome at it. And then, when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being told that you're not famous enough to do your own job. Just in case you've wondered where I've been." Unquote. Now, for those who do not know, Corey Graves had a stint in NXT way back when NXT was still kind of new. And I believe he had a neck injury, a very Edge, Stone Cold-ish type of injury. So he had to quit wrestling. The same one, I think Byron Saxton had something similar happen to him. But insert Corey Graves into the color commentator, which he's not the first to do it. Macho Man did it. One of my inspirations, Jesse the Body Ventura, did commentary. And some of the inspiration that I've taken for commentary has come from people like Jesse the Body Ventura, Bobby the Brain Heenan. And I reluctantly say it because he's really good at what he does. It's Corey fucking Graves. He's really good at what he does. So now, because WWE is becoming more legitimate, it's becoming more mainstream again. It's very reminiscent of what it was like in the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars in the mid-90s. everybody's talking about it again. So they're getting bigger names on commentary. People like Pat McAfee, and I forget the dude's name on Raw. I am not going to attempt to butcher his name. Well, he did it when Pat was doing the college football thing. So, they moved Corey to SmackDown. Whatever. It is what it is. You're still on the main roster. Well, recently they've been changing things up, and they put him on NXT. And he's taking this as a step down. But yet, I've seen plenty of wrestlers that have gone back to NXT to help promote the brand. So what makes him any different? Me personally, I think Corey is being a little fucking crybaby. You know, he wants to be the best at what he does, and that's fine. But, you know, sometimes you got to go back before you go forward. And instead of fucking whining about it, and I know Corey will never hear this podcast, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. And even if he does listen closely, Corey, because I'm going to educate you here. Sometimes taking a step back is a good thing. Period. Sometimes you need to go back to go forward, like I said. So do the best job you can where you are, and your time will come. And again, like I said, he's a great commentator. He's very knowledgeable about the business. He knows, you know, he's a heel, and I fucking love the heel commentary. It had such a great element to the show. And he just needs to, if this is a work, I'm going to be pissed because I'm falling for it just like everybody else is. But my advice to Corey would be just fucking ride the train. You're still a part of they could have fired you. They didn't. You're still a part of the company. You're still making money. Do your fucking job and do it the best of your ability. And maybe one day, Michael Cole is not going to be around forever. Michael Cole's been doing commentary for 25 plus years. He's pretty close to retirement. So I'm just saying, maybe you can move into that spot once Michael goes away. And I am probably in the minority here, but I fucking hate Pat McAfee on commentary. I fucking hate him. I just don't like him. Stick to football. You know, it is what it is. Ugh. Anyway. All right, I get rattled when I talk about that because, you know, it just annoys me with these guys sometimes. But on to our next topic. This piece of shit, Logan Paul, who is apparently back and who was going to leave and then decided he wanted to come back. Like, this dude cannot make up his mind. I'm starting to think he's part chick because he's over here and he's over there. He's over here and he's over there. But apparently, there was, I forget if it was Raw or Smack. I believe it was Raw on, which I didn't get to watch because I was doing something else. Logan Paul is claiming that Tiffany Stratton was hitting on him backstage at the taping of Raw. And his quote is talking about, what's his name? Ludwig? I forget the guy that runs with Gunther. I haven't seen him on TV in a while. I think he was on Raw not too long ago, but again, Ludwig. I sound so inconsistent, don't I? Yeah. I know what I am. Apparently he's saying that his girl was hitting on me the other day or something, and then he got mad for me and tried to come at me. If Ludwig wants me, he can come get it. Now, I did see reports that Tiffany was not very happy with what was going on. I mean, Tiffany seems like she's a very friendly person, which can be confused with flirting. I get that. But Logan Paul is, if I'm not mistaken, he's either married or he's got a girlfriend who just had a kid recently, if I'm not mistaken. So my thing is, why are you making this fucking public? If this is a work, it's done in very poor taste. I mean, involving somebody else's girlfriend or boyfriend, and an example of that could be when Rusev with CJ Perry and Bobby Lashley. It just was horrible. And then that was back in the Vince era. Vince did some pretty stupid shit with stuff like that. But my thing is, Logan Paul, stick to your podcast. Don't do wrestling anymore. Seriously. He's a great wrestler. I just think he's a little, I mean, there are very few people in wrestling that I hate more than Seth Rollins, and Logan Paul is definitely one of them. So, all right, moving on to our next story. With the Rumble around the corner, in a couple of hours, actually, of course, we're going to see some surprise entrants in said Rumble. But two people that have been very vocal about coming back, and I mentioned this earlier, Charlotte Flair and Nikki Bella. Now, Nikki just wants the attention. And that's just the straight truth. She just wants the fucking attention. You know, she's going through the whole divorce thing. She allegedly beat up her current husband, who I guess they filed for divorce. She cheated on John Cena, but she wanted him to propose to her and have kids with him and everything. She's just a fucking drama queen. And I'm hoping Triple H, being the smart man that he is going to be like, no. You know, I'm hoping he's smart enough to recognize that Nikki is just poison in the locker, and especially with John Cena on his farewell tour this year, his final run. I think it'd be better if she just kind of stayed away. You know, I think she's overrated. She's not a very good wrestler. She's a glorified valet at best. With Charlotte, on the other hand, Charlotte is only where she is because of her fucking name. She's Ric Flair's daughter. She's riding the coattails. And there was a time there when her and Sasha traded off the title every fucking Raw. Like, she would have it for a month and Sasha would have it for a month. Like, there's a reason why she's like a 14-time champion. It's because, the locker room for the females was very, very small. It's a lot bigger now. But not just that, but she kept dropping and getting it back. It was just horrible. And again, that's all a Vince McMahon thing. They're saying that they want to make Charlotte the top, like she's going to get a push. I'm like, why? She's been gone for a minute, you know. She's taking some time. I know she had an injury, but she needs to get in the back of the line because there are younger, better talent that are up and coming that need their place. Charlotte, the four horsewomen, with the exception of Sasha, who's in AEW, they've had their time. Becky, Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. They've all had their time. They've done. Now, I'm not opposed to them helping promote and build up these said newer people, but Charlotte does not need another fucking title run. Period. I think it's a waste of time. There's a lot better talent out there that can do stuff with it. You got people like Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan. Hell, I wouldn't even mind seeing Raquel Rodriguez get a title shot here and there. You know, she's got the ability. I know she's had some issues in the past with medical conditions, but I just don't see an issue. The issue I have is Charlotte is pretty much like Roman Reigns. She's being forced down her throat, and I'm eventually going to gag and throw up. So, which I've already done. So, I'll get off my high horse about that. One thing I didn't have on my script that I totally forgot to put on here before I get to the predictions is that Triple H, well-deserved, already in the Hall of Fame as a member of D-Generation X, but was surprised by The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and his wife Stephanie that he will headline the Hall of Fame this year. Well-deserved, long overdue. Triple H, back in the day, I was not the biggest Triple H fan when it came to wrestling. I was more of a Rock guy. But as time has progressed with the storyline and him taking over creative for just a little over a year now, or it's actually been almost 2 years, he's done an amazing thing. Like, there was times I didn't mind if I missed Raw. Like, whatever, I'll catch the next one. Now I'm invested to where if I can't watch it on Monday, I'll watch it later in the week. I'm investing my time in Raw and SmackDown as if it was the Attitude Era all over again. So he's doing something right. So very well deserved. And that's going to be interesting to see. I'm sure it'll be Shawn and Taker that'll induct him. Because if I think Triple H, I think, especially Shawn, but Undertaker too, because they had some fucking barn burner matches back in the day. So, but anyway, that's it for the news. I will be back momentarily, and I will be talking about the card and my predictions and possible, surprise entrance in the men and women's Rumble. We got quite a few going on, so hang tight. I will be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Josh Zodiac podcast, and this is going to be the predictions portion of the show, where I will predict what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble. Now, I'm going to do the men's and women's matches last because I'll have a lot more to say about that. But the first match is DIY, who are the current SmackDown Tag Team Champions, versus the Motor City Machine Guns for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And it's a 2 out of 3 falls match. That's interesting. Now, I don't know enough about DAY and the Motor City Machine Guns because I don't watch SmackDown like I used to. I'm trying to get better about it. But from what I've seen, DAY is the heels, and of course the Motor City Machine Guns, they're the good guys. They're the baby faces. DAY just got those titles not too long ago. So I don't see any reason why they would take the titles off of them. Maybe WrestleMania, not here. I have a feeling DIY is going to pull some shit out of their ass, and they're going to pull it off. And I do believe that it's going to be DIY over the Motor City Machine Guns, only because the Machine Guns can actually put over DIY in a way because, you know, again, they came from the independent circuit. They're really big names, so they're probably using them to promote the titles to make DIY look even stronger. And they're a great team. They've been around forever. So, and they've gone through their ups and downs. But I do think it's going to be DIY victorious over the Motor City Machine Guns. Next, we're going to go to the undisputed WWE Championship ladder match between the champion Cody Rhodes and the quote-unquote champion Kevin Owens. I remember not too long ago I had said that I thought Cody Rhodes' title run was getting a little bit stale. It was getting kind of complacent and it was kind of boring. I don't know what Triple H. I guess Triple H heard what I had to say because it's gotten increasingly better. Especially with Kevin Owens turning his back on Cody and pretty much just Kevin is just a fucking magician on the mic. I mean, he's up there with some of the greats, and he is just dissecting Cody every chance he gets on the microphone. But they're probably going to have both the belt Cody carries and the Winged Eagle belt on the little structure elevated above the ladder. This is a very, I want to say, heartfelt, you know, when one of your best friends turns his back on you and you feel like you're right, even though you might not be. This is what this feels like. This feels very reminiscent of Captain America Civil War in a way. Cap versus Iron Man, where Cody is Captain America and Kevin Owens is Iron Man. And they both have their sides. They both think they're right. But at the end of the day, and I think today is the 300th day of Cody's reign, I don't think they're going to drop the title off of Cody yet. I think we'll see some shenanigans in this match, but I don't see Kevin winning this match. I don't see Cody dropping the title until WrestleMania or even after, depending on what happens at the Rumble, which I'll get in that in a minute. But yeah, I'm thinking Cody is going to be victorious in this match, but I do think there will be some shenanigans. Maybe even Randy Orton might show up. I don't know. We haven't seen Randy in a minute. So I'm thinking maybe he may actually interfere in this match in some way because it's a no DQ match, so anything can happen. But yeah, I think Cody's going to win this match. On to the Women's Rumble match. Now, I did not pull up who's already said they're going to be in the Rumble match. I was more going to concentrate more on who is going to be the surprise entrance. Now, there's quite a few females that have been gone for a minute, and I talked about at least two of them earlier. I don't want it to happen, but I have a feeling we're going to see Nikki Bella and Charlotte in the Rumble. That's fine. And it was just released today that I saw Alexa Bliss finally signed a new contract, so I'm thinking she might actually be at the Rumble. And the pop is going to be fucking huge if it's true. There's been rumors that Becky Lynch is going to come back. I'm going to fucking pop crazy for that. That's going to be awesome. I'm thinking we might get some older divas like Lita and maybe even Trish Stratus. But I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, surprise entrants that are going to be there. But I'm going to go with who I think is going to win versus who I would prefer to win. I think they're going to give it to Charlotte, 100%. And she'll be the second person to win, or she'll be, I think, the first female to win it twice. I don't remember how many times she's won it. But maybe, I didn't think about this. Maybe Asuka makes a comeback because she's been gone for a minute. So I'd like to see Asuka come back as well. But I think they're going to have Charlotte win it. But in my heart of hearts, excuse me, I would like to see somebody like maybe Jade. Oh, maybe we'll see the return of Jade. Oh, I'm just thinking of fucking names on top of my head now. I don't know why, but I think they're going to give it to Jade. I think Jade is deserving. She's been gone for a minute because of the attack, and I think we're going to hopefully soon find out who attacked her. Damn, I didn't think about Jade. I mean, it makes no sense to give it to someone like Bayley again, or Charlotte or Becky. Just give it to somebody new. Or, I don't know, throw a curveball and have it to where Raquel Rodriguez wins it, and it puts a rift between her and Liv, because Raquel is obviously going to go after Rhea. You know, it would make more sense at that point. And that drives a drift not only between her and Liv Morgan, but also within the Judgment Day, which is slowly becoming the Finn Balor club. So, yeah, there's so many options there. My men's Rumble pick is a little bit more precise. But yeah, I think they're going to probably give it to Charlotte just because they want to push her, and you know, and she'll probably go after Rhea because she's beaten Rhea before. She beat her for the NXT title way back when. So it's like, who cares? I'll be shocked if they don't give it to Charlotte. So that's who I'm picking to win it, even though it's not my pick. Now, when it comes to the men's Royal Rumble, this is going to be a stacked deck in this match. I've been reading online. Excuse me, I got a scratchy throat today. I've been reading online. People have been like, "Oh, Brock should come back," and they just announced earlier that Brock has been named in that sexual harassment case against Vince. So if Triple H is as smart as I think he is, he will avoid having Brock in there. And truth be told, I'm tired of Brock. He needs to go away. Sorry, I don't know what happened. We got some really shitty weather yesterday, and my allergies are kicking my ass. The one thing I'm going to say about this match, and I'm going to make it short and sweet, is that one of the surprise entrants is going to be the final boss, The Rock. And The Rock is going to win the Rumble. Yes, I'm going with this pick because he's going after Cody. Period. You know, they teased it a little bit the past couple of months, and even the Rock was like, you know, Cody, you're a good guy, da da da, I loved your dad, da da da. Fucking smokescreen. The Rock is going to be entrant number. I'm calling it now. It is 1:58 on the 1st of February, about 2 hours before the show starts. I'm calling it right now. The Rock is not only going to enter the Rumble at either 27 or number 30, one of the two. He is going to go on to win said title. Point at the sign, and he is going to go after fucking Cody. 100%. I feel super confident in that, and it makes sense. I know there are people out there, including my brother, who will, oh, why the fuck The Rock? Think about it. Cody never beat The Rock last year. He beat Roman Reigns for the title. What better icing on the cake would it be towards the end of your title run that you beat the final boss? You beat The Rock. You beat the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. You beat that man in the ring at WrestleMania on night 2 of the main event, and see what happens. I think it's going to happen. I would bet money on it. I would. I'd probably lose, but you know what? I feel very confident in that pick. So, I am going to post something probably on my Facebook about who you think is going to win the Rumble, little poll. But I'm curious. After this is over, you know what you guys think about the Rumble. You know, did it go the way you wanted to? Who your thoughts were? Maybe surprise entrance, stuff like that. Maybe I'll put something on the Facebook page. I'm not sure yet. I got a couple hours to plan it out. But that being said, that is my predictions. And again, those are predictions, not spoilers. Not going to steal Paul Heyman's shtick there. I'm going to step away because the show starts in 2 hours, and I got some food I got to make because I'm hungry. I'm a big old fat kid. But I will be back after the show is over for my reactions to this show. And I have a feeling I'm going to be super fucking hyped. So you guys don't go anywhere. I'll be back momentarily with my review and reactions of the 2025 Royal Rumble. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody, to the greatest podcast you never heard of, the Josh Zodiac podcast. I'm going to have to admit that I did not record the second part, the review and the reactions until almost 4 hours after the show ended. I needed to compress and figure out if I liked the show or not. I did go down a TikTok wormhole for about 30, 40 minutes, just seeing different people's reactions and kind of processing my own. I will say, and I'll get more into this in a minute, I was expecting more surprise entrants, and it's sad that the women's side had more than the men's. The men had 1, and the women had 5. So I was expecting the men's to be a little bit more. It had a lot of star power, especially like from 25 to 28 when you had some of the biggest names in the last 10 years in the ring at the same time and they came out consecutively. But yeah, I will get into that here in a minute. But for the time being, we will talk about first the women's Royal Rumble match. And I'm not going to go over every person that came in. I'm just not going to waste your time doing that. I am going to hit the surprise entrance, which number 19 was Jordynne Grace, which is no surprise because she just signed a contract with WWE. So that is no surprise. Alexa Bliss, not totally shocked by that because she just signed a new contract. So her being in the Rumble was not a total surprise. Trish Stratus, again, I talked about this earlier in the day. I felt that either Lita or Trish would be in the Rumble, and Trish was there. And I don't know, Trish, oh my God, Trish looked fucking amazing. Oh, God damn it. And of course, at the coveted number 27 spot was Charlotte fucking Flair. I was really hoping that she would. I know she announced that she'd be there, but I was hoping it was a fluke. But unfortunately, it was not. And then number 30, which again I called it earlier today too. And sometimes I hate when I'm right. Like when I'm doing my job as a weather forecaster, I love when I'm right. But there are sometimes I'm like, ugh, I kind of wish I wasn't because I just don't like snow. And we had snow yesterday. So, but yeah, Nikki Bella came out at number 30. And I was just sitting there like, why? I'm hoping this is a one-time thing because it's the Rumble. I hope to God she does not get a push. There was no AJ Lee, which I'm not surprised by that. I mean, I would love for her to be back in WWE, but I don't think it's on the card. She's got other things going on. She lived her dream. You know, she got to wrestle. There's videos and pictures of her meeting Lita at an autograph signing, and, you know, she is emotional, which is expected because she's a fan. And she got to live her dream and become a women's champion. But now she's doing her own comic and writing and everything, so she's got her own shit going on, you know. So I'd love to see her in it. But at the end of the day, just like I predicted earlier, Charlotte Flair is getting the push. She won the Rumble. Now it's just a matter of who is she going to take on. Is it going to be Tiffany Stratus or is it going to be Rhea Ripley? My money is on Rhea just because she wants to take the title from her again. I would prefer if Charlotte lost. You know, just because you win the Rumble doesn't mean you're guaranteed to win the title. And if you don't believe me, ask Asuka and Shinsuke Nakamura. They'll tell you because they lost in the same fucking year they won. I'm still bitter about that because Asuka was on like a 200+ win streak and then fucking Charlotte made her tap. So yeah, didn't agree with that. The match was pretty good. It was over an hour long, but it didn't feel like it was over an hour long. I would give it a higher rating if it was anybody else that won. But because it was Charlotte, I'm going to give it a B. And yeah, I'm petty like that. I don't, you know, there's certain people in professional wrestling I do not like, and Charlotte is one of them. And it's well documented that I think that she's riding on the coattails of her father's name. she sits there and says, "Oh, I'm a self-made woman," in the press conference after the show. I'm like, "No, you're not. You're riding on your dad's coattails, 100%. If you were self-made, you would not have the name Flair in your professional wrestling name, period." But it is what it is. We move on to the 2 out of 3 falls match between the Machine Gun guys and DIY. I'm not going to lie, this was a bathroom break episode for me, or match for me. I'm not invested in SmackDown a whole lot. I did watch it. There was a lot of pretty good spots. I didn't think DIY was going to lose, but the fact that they had to lose because of the, the Street Profits had to interfere to ensure that if they get a title shot, it's against the DIY because they want to get revenge, which is great storytelling. It just sucks that it had to happen to the Machine Gun tag team. But again, I give this match a B. Again, I was not invested. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it. Just was not invested in this match. This next match, on the other hand, as my voice cracks, always cracks in the podcast. Maybe it's the microphone. I don't know. Maybe I should invest in a Rodecaster microphone. Was the ladder match for the WWE Undisputed title between Cody and Kevin Owens. I've been watching wrestling since 1985, and I can say this is in the top 5 most brutal matches I've ever seen. This match was all over the place. Kevin got busted open. That Alabama slam on that ladder looked ugly as fuck. Apparently Cody also had some injuries. He was supposed to do the press conference, and he had to go get medical attention. They did say they were confident he would be on SmackDown this next Friday coming up. But yeah, this match was just fucking brutal. Sami Zayn came out, and I was like, dude, don't interfere because you're going to piss off KO. And luckily he did interfere. But he definitely had a presence there. I definitely will give this match an A just because, the storytelling they've been doing with Cody, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, the title run kind of got a little stale after the whole AJ Styles matches, but it's kind of picking up steam now that him, the whole betrayal of Kevin Owens, or so he thinks it's betrayal, but definitely it was the match of the night, 100%, and just the fact that, somebody got busted open, and those table or the announce table is reinforced now, so they're not going through those tables anymore, which I'm kind of iffy about that. I mean, it's just been a part of wrestling for so long that it's like you change, it's like, okay, whatever. But again, that match was an A, great match of the night. And then we get to the men's rumble. Now, I would have preferred if there was more surprise entries, but we had just the one. And I kind of figure if it's going to be anybody, it was going to be Joe Hendry, because he, the WWE now has the contract or like the sharing rights with TNA. They had Jordan Grace on the show last year when she was they call him the Knockouts champion. But now, of course, she's a WWE under WWE contract, so she was there anyway. But Joe Hendry was there as the new TNA champion. The crowd pop was crazy. Every reaction was pretty loud. Alexa Bliss had a pretty loud pop. Trish had a loud one. Charlotte was and then Nikki wasn't. It was a big pop, but it wasn't nearly as big as Alexa. But Joe Hendry, I think, had the pop of the night. It was just freaking loud. At one point in time, we had Roman Reigns, John Cena, CM Punk, and Seth freaking Rollins in the ring at the same time, and they came out like consecutively. And I remember I was in a group chat, and I'm like, wow, this is, these are all the big names we've had for the past 10, 15 years, and they're in the ring together in the Rumble trying to get to the main event of WrestleMania. And it was just unfucking real. And I know a lot of people were like, no, don't let Cena win. Don't let Cena win. I don't want Cena to win, even though we know he's going to win number 17. It's just a matter of when. And they did do the bait and switch on us, I'm like, the Cena was in the final 2 with him and Jey Uso. And I'm like, it's going to be him. He's going to fucking win. And then when John Cena's feet hit the floor and Jay was still in the ring, I was just as shocked as Cena was. I'm like, did that just fucking happen? And I initially was not very happy. I was like, what the fuck? Why are you going to give it to fucking Jey Uso? What the fuck? But thinking about it for a minute, taking a step back, I'm like, this actually makes sense because it was too obvious. You know, you want, you know, the secret to be, you don't want it to happen right away. You know, you want it to be suspenseful. And Cena did say that he's going to enter the Elimination Chamber in March in Toronto. He's apparently filming a movie overseas, so he'll be gone for a month, but he'll be coming back for the Rumble or for the Elimination Chamber, which I'm like, okay, I thought he had said he was going to be doing, you know, the regular schedule, but it is what it is. He's been in the company for over 20 years. I think he's earned his right to not show up for a couple of shows. He's not Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar has not earned that. You know, he's gotten all the title shots, but he hasn't been loyal to WWE. John Cena never jumped ship. He never left. He stayed here regardless of what was going on. Granted, he was the golden boy at one point. So, but either way, I was actually shocked that Jey Uso, I will never call him main event Jey Uso because he's not. I think he's a B player at best, but they're giving him a push and that's fine. I just hope that he goes after Cody versus, well, then again, I think Cody is going to SmackDown or to Raw anyway, so it makes sense for him to go after Cody. I'd like to see John Cena dethrone Cody, but it is what it is. And my prediction about The Rock being number 30 and winning the Rumble was not even close to true. Logan Paul was number 30, and I'm like, ugh, fuck. I didn't put him as a surprise entrant because he's an asshole. I can't stand Logan Paul. He's a piece of shit. So that's all I'm going to say about that. This match I also give a B. There was a lot of good spots, especially when they started with Penta and Rey Mysterio. Starting with the Luchadors, which was fucking great. It was fast-paced, and they were doing their thing. The match did slow down once all the Luchadors were out of the match. It did slow down a bit because they keep it at a much higher pace. You know, they do a lot more cardio. So, but overall, I'm going to have to give the show a B minus. Like I said, the DIY match I just was not invested in. I wasn't happy in who won the Rumbles. I think there were probably younger talent that were more deserving that could get their first shot at a main event. Because that's what the Rumble is mainly for, is to give young talent a shot at the title and maybe even see what they can do with it. But was definitely not happy with the outcome of that. But like I said, the Kevin Owens match was top notch. Like I said, match of the night, match of the year so far. You know, granted we've only had one PLE and a couple of episodes of Raw and SmackDown, but that definitely is already up there. So, I don't know, on my Facebook page, let me know what you think. If you agree or disagree, or if you want to shoot me an email, and I'll go over that here in a minute. But if you agree, disagree, or have any thoughts, please shoot me some sort of information, and I'll definitely take those into account. But like I said, I did not record this portion of the podcast until just a little before midnight, just because I wanted to process the show. I didn't want to make any rash decisions right out the gate. Wanted to think about it, so I had a glass of tea and ate even though I'm trying to give up sugar, I had a cupcake. Actually, it was a muffin. It was a blueberry muffin from Costco, and it was really fucking good. Yeah, that will conclude this special episode of the John Zodiac podcast with the Royal Rumble 25 review. Like I said, it was a good show. Could have been better. Could have been worse. I've seen worse Rumbles than this one. But I want to thank you for joining me on this particular show and any other show. And if you're new to the podcast, I want to say thank you for joining me. I hope you'll stick around for more. And if you've been here for a while, thank you for sticking around. You can search, like, and follow the podcast on Facebook. And I do memes and different news on there, possible news stories. as well. Not just wrestling, but other things as well. Just whatever tickles my fancy that particular episode. Just search the Jazz Zodiac Podcast on Facebook to find me. You can also find, and it's just the audio. I don't do the video anymore. I may do video for special occasions, but for the time being, it's just audio. Just search, like, subscribe, and follow the Jazz Zodiac Podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. On Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube, please leave a rating and or a comment or a thumbs up. It definitely helps my podcast, and it helps the algorithm to get it out there more. I would greatly appreciate that. And any comments you can put on Spotify and Apple Podcast, I'd appreciate that. Appreciate that as well. My tongue got tied there for a minute, and yet I'm single. Go figure. If you have a topic you want to hear on the show, or if you just have a question, or you just want to drop a note, want to say, hey, how you doing? Great job. Or I didn't like this episode. I don't agree with what you said about the Cody and KO match, or whatever topic. Just email the show at thejazzodiacpodcast@gmail.com. I'm thinking down the road I might have a question-only podcast where people ask questions and I'll answer them, and I might try to get some guests on. I do know I did recently join a Facebook group that does podcasts, and there's people that have been asking to join the podcast as a guest. So I'm looking more into that. I'm kind of comfortable with the people that I've had on, but maybe I should venture out and branch out to help networking the podcast and get the numbers that I want for subscribers and likes and everything up. So definitely a lot going on. There will be, hopefully soon, I need to get a hold of Scuba. We're going to do a Superman-only episode since we both have birthdays in February. And then right around March 1st, we will do the review of the Elimination Chamber. And that one will be a different review because it'll be all regular matches, no Rumbles, which are hard to predict because there's 30 fucking people. And it's hard to pinpoint who. Charlotte Flair, I got right. The other, Jey Uso would have been like my 31st pick. So... yeah, I never would have picked Jey Uso to win the Rumble. But it is what it is. But again, I want to say thank you for joining me on this particular episode. I hope that you will join me on the next episode. Until then, this is the Maverick Jazz Zodiac. This is the Jazz Zodiac Podcast. I hope I'll see you again. This is the way.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
I don't think you guys walk away from this.
You just make sure people know what happened here today. And when you get out of here, you have a drink for me, yeah?
It's the Jazz Zodiac Podcast.
So be it, Jedi.